that. Y'all, I'm just so elated to be with you guys on today and to be able to come on live. And as you have seen, I know I have not been around in a while. I've just not, honestly, just be transparent. I just didn't feel like doing a live. I didn't feel like, I just was in a slump. I just didn't feel like doing anything. So I knew for me to come back, I needed to reintroduce myself to people. I needed you to know who I was and what my heart is and why I am doing what I'm doing. So for those of you that don't know, I am Deborah Franklin. I'm an author, a speaker, I'm sorry, international speaker, publisher, and a media coach. So I get to work with you. I work with people to help them tell their stories, to get to increase their VIP status. And so what that means is that I help you to increase your visibility, your influence, and your profits and or revenue, however you would want to say it. But that's what I do. And I work with a variety of clients in that area. And I guess some people say, well, Deborah, why do you do what you do? I do what I do because I wish I had had somebody around when I first started or as I was going along to jump in and help me and give me some of those guiding tools, or being that woman that was always a cheerleader but never the quarterback, being able to be used in a different kind of way with some guidance. That's where I would that was my whole thing for doing this. And then I started thinking about the women who were in ministry who didn't have a voice. And I said, I wanted to help them to develop their voice and not be afraid to tell their stories. There are so many women in ministry that I have seen them seen the writings that they do. I've heard the sermons that they preach, but to tell them to put it in a book, they were like, oh no, I could never do that. I could never do that. But I wanted to help be able to be that sounding board to help them develop those ideas and into a reality of a book, and show them that your gift will make room for you and put you in the presence of kings and queens, people of influence. Let's just say it like that. And so when I started to work on this and started to do this even more, that's what helped me in developing my why, and my why of showing up every day, my why of showing up and speaking to the people every day. And that's what I want you to know, is that you can have a voice, you can be used, because a lot of times y'all have heard from God has told you what to do, and you just sitting there idle. And so with this scripture, Deuteronomy 31:8, the Lord says, I will guide you along the best pathway for your life. I will advise you and watch over you. Some of y'all are not are not believing that God is going to actually guide you, that God is really there for you. And you have been hearing God tell you to do certain things, and you've been like, I'm not going to do it. I'm scared to do it. I'm afraid. I'm this, I'm that. And God is already telling you in 31:8 that this is your time to do it, because I'm showing you, I'm guiding you. Now, I'm going to be transparent with you. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. Are you going to make it all the way? No, you're not. I mean, but you are going to make it. But you might not have the full goal, the full, let's say, the entire map in front of you. The thing is, you just got to get started on the journey. And some of you have been doing that even in wanting to write a book. Y'all have been wanting to write a book for ages. God told you to write this book a long time ago, and you still have not done it. You still have not showed up for yourself and done what God has told you to do. You still have not done what you know to do. And even in Matthew 5:16, in the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify the Father in heaven. Your light shining is that book that you write. Your light shining is showing your good deeds. If you're able to tell someone how you got over something, or telling them your life story, or giving them advice on how to develop their ministry, how to clean a house. Y'all, I'm so serious. These are your good deeds, because it glorifies God when people are able to see you demonstrate your gifts and your gifting, because you would be amazed at somebody that has the same gift as you, but would feel like they're less than, or they're not good enough, or they can't do it. They need to see that you have been successful and they can be successful. And so you have been sitting on this gift, and God has already said, let the light shine before others. And that is part of your life. And you're going to glorify. Not only will they glorify God, but you're going to glorify God as well. So you need to start operating in that realm of getting things out and showing up when you need to show up. You have got to start being letting yourself be used by God when He tells you to do what He's telling you to do. I don't know how to, I mean, I just can't stress it enough, because that's one reason why I developed this new program. Where you can write your book in 21 days. So many times people, and if you are interested in writing your book in 21 days, I need you to drop me in the comments, because some of you think that it takes so long to get started in writing your book. You think it takes so long for you to get what you need and the information that you need to write your book. But in all actuality, you can get that process started in 21 days. And then I got one other thing, in 20, just 21 minutes a day. I just want you, and if you want to know how to do that and how to get that accomplished, I need you to just drop me in the comments, because if you are a woman and God has told you to write your book, and you have been trying to figure out, oh my God, how do I get started? Oh my God, I can't write. I can't this. I can't. But I promise you that you can. You need to drop me below so you can get more information, so I can share with you how in 21 days you can jumpstart your writing process and have your book finished, completely finished, from your mind all the way within the 90 to 120 days. Y'all, we ain't playing with this. We gonna be true to this, because when God has given you a mandate, God has given you instructions, it is up to you to follow them. It is up to you to walk in your divine calling in order to reach that next level. So to stop living in the shoulda, woulda, kind of, coulda, and start living in the now. I talked about that yesterday, that it's time for you to do it now. It is time for you to take charge of your life and do what God has called you to do. It is time for you to take charge of your life and show up for yourself. Because when you are walking in your purpose, when you are walking in your divine purpose, when you are walking in your divine purpose, you are edifying and glorifying God and showing how you're going to use your gifts to deliver someone else. Because our gifts and what we've gone through is not for us. That's part of our testimony. And some of you need to write your book just so you can get a release. I said it and I mean it. I get a release. You have been carrying some of these things and some of these stories in you way too long. And you have been dealing with these things way too long. And some of you have been living with trauma from your childhood that you still have not dealt with. You almost 60 years old and you still dealing with trauma from when you were 10. I'm serious. I am serious. You are an adult and you're wondering why you're lashing out at certain people so much, and for no reason. You're lashing out because they remind you of some trauma that you experienced when you were a child. But because you haven't dealt with that trauma, you're always burning bridges and you don't even know why you're burning the bridge. And this is why writing helps you to get that out of you. Writing helps you see. Writing helps you sit down and get all your feelings out on that page so you're able to tell the story. Because I promise you, when I wrote my first book, it was so therapeutic for me because it made me go back and look at some of the things that I had gone through. That's how I realized that I was just suffering from verbal abuse. It wasn't physical. I got whoopings just like everybody else. It wasn't like nobody was beating on me or anything like that. It was verbal. And that's what helped stifle my self esteem. My self esteem was so low. I mean, I didn't think that I was good enough. I didn't think I was pretty enough. I didn't think anything positive about myself, but I knew how to hide it. Nobody really knew that I was dealing with that because I knew how to, let's say, laugh my way through it. I knew how to make a joke out of something. I knew how to show up with the mask on, and nobody knew that I was crashing and burning on the inside. So, but I did not realize all of that until I started to write the book and started to really think about what I had gone through and how I was able to survive. And how I hid behind a mask for so long. But then once I took the mask off, once I started to realize that God created me to be who I was, then and let me put it, and then take ownership of who I was, not who somebody wanted me to be, not who somebody thought would do. I stopped because I was trying to be such a people pleaser because of the way my personality is. I ain't gonna lie, I can laugh loud. I laugh loud, I talk loud, talk fast. And I'm like, at first, I used to be try to squelch, make myself look smaller. Or my other thing was not let people know that I was actually smart. And so, I tend to hide behind those things. And again, until I started to write, until I started to figure out what my why was, until I started to figure out why I was doing what I was doing or making some of the choices that I made, then and only then was I really set free. Then and only then was I able to tell my story, share my story, and be able to be on platforms and talk about my story, to be able to show up. Even when somebody told me that my book was nothing, I'm trying to tell you, told me to my face, told the person that they was with to throw it away. Yeah. And this is somebody that I respected. What they thought was gonna crush me, baby, it turned me around and made me do better. Because I still sold multiple copies of that book. I still did multiple workshops with that one book that I was told that they didn't, whatever. They said that I wasn't gonna sell no books with that black face on it. Oh yeah, baby. I remember that like it was yesterday. I can still see the situation. I still feel it. I still have it in my remembrance. And I remember I called I called my best friend. She was ready to walk to where I was, and she was like, I know at least almost 1,000 miles away from where I was. But that's how everybody around me got heated, ready to fight. And I was like, you know what, God, I'm not gonna get mad. All you got to do, tell me what I can't do. All you got to do is say, I'm not good enough. Because now, at the mode that I'm in and what I have gone through, what I have survived, that's my motivator to go to the next level. That's my motivator to show up in different ways. That's my motivator to be in different rooms when I least expect it. That's my motivator to be able to show up and speak the way that I speak. That's my motivator to be able to just know that I'm going to show up next year and do a conference in Kenya. That's how I'm able to show up and said 4 years ago that we were going to start Church Girl CEO and go on missions. And we've gone missions every year, whether it was big, small, whatever. We went, we left, we did, we showed up, we produced. And so that's why I'm trying to tell you, when God gives you a vision to do something, you got to get up off your hind parts and do it. You have got to show up scared. You got to show up without all the answers, because when you don't have all the answers, God's going to put people around you that's going to give you the answers. God's going to put you in rooms to where you ain't even got to say nothing. Your name going to be called. And all God wanted you to know was, I hear you and I know that you hear. Because see, I'm gonna let the person call your name. Your name is gonna start echoing in rooms that you never thought that it would. Your name is gonna be there. Because see, sometimes somebody got to say your name so somebody can hear it. That way when you do walk in the room and introduce yourself, they're like, don't I know you? And they ain't got to remember where they heard your name, but just know that God is working on your behalf. So, for those of you again that don't know who I am Deborah Franklin. I am an international author and speaker and coach, and I want to hear from you because it is Work With Me Wednesday. And if you want to know how you can write your book in 21 days, yes, I'm trying to tell you how you can jumpstart writing your book in 21 days, then I need you to reach out, drop me below so I can hear from you. Put hashtag replay because I really want to hear from you and know what you're doing. All right, guys, I love you to life. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You have a great one.